All right, we were got busy last night. We took the bed off the old F350. A lot of mud down here. Yeah, we've been raining about every other day. The sun does come out and dry things out between, but got the bed off of her just because I wanted to see what was underneath and make sure things were all right. Somebody, this was their idea of a fifth wheel mount, which those are going to come off. The mud flap brackets will come off. Got a U-Haul Reese hitch on the back, it'll come off. And I don't know, some sort of rat's nest of wiring there. It's probably with the U-Haul and stuff, they put that on there, but that's all got to come off. I have to say it don't look too bad. Needs to be a little taller in the front end. But I can't get over how rust-free these cab corners are and the doors. I mean, there's a little bit of rust on them, but pretty decent shape all in all. Somebody's replaced that fuel tank. I think it's just a part store Spectre Premium or something. It's not a great one, but looks like it's leaking back here. Who knows? But yeah, I blew a brake line up over the pumpkin. There was had a tailpipe on it. I think I banged it with a tailpipe. Of course, it was all rusty anyhow, so that's probably gonna have to be addressed. But I'm thinking of putting a Dana 60 in the front, leveling the thing out, and possibly either change transmissions or get a divorce transfer case and put it on there. I don't know, just depending on what that does. But tonight I'm gonna take some of these brackets off. Crap on here I don't need. There's a bracket there. It's not original. I think somebody had running boards on it. So, alright, I'm gonna get started here. I don't think there's any sense in trying to save any of this stuff. Just knock the heads off with a torch. We'll go from there. Alright, I'll bring you back. Well, when you get done torching brackets off of the truck frame, you probably got about 15 pounds of scrap, or 15 cents worth of scrap. You still got to take the hitch off the back. But yeah, I determined this is grease off the universal joint. It ain't a leaking fuel tank, and then apparently it's been replaced. So, because that universal joint throws grease too. So, anyhow, I think I'm gonna get that hitch off there. I'll have to bring it back. Well, it's been raining down here the last couple of days. We cut a couple loads of wood. I don't know, the last video I think I took the bed off the 1 ton, but do you ever have one of them days and you tell somebody you bought something and they say, well, you can just have the one I got? So friend of mine, I told him I bought an 88 dually, and he says, well, you might as well come get this one. And this is a 89 F450. We're going to unload it off the truck here. Hold on. Or off the trailer. It's got 10 lug wheels. And I need to get busy here and do some chaining. This is the way we hauled it in here too. There's no chains on it, so let me get a chain on it. We'll bring it back. All right, it's the next day here, and we got this truck off the trailer. That turned out being a real fiasco. The John Deere wouldn't lift at all, and we ended up putting a skid loader on the front of it, and it wasn't a pretty sight. We got it off and got the trailer out from underneath of it. But this is a 98 F450. Got 10 bolt wheels. Got heavy springs. Got a real heavy frame. And I'd use this frame. Well, there's two problems with this. 450s had, I don't know if that's I think that's a Dana 80. It sure looks like a Dana cover. Yeah. 450s used a Dana 80. They always had real low gear ratios. They were a heavy duty truck. Well, I wouldn't say that, but a heavy medium duty truck. Yeah, but they had low gears. And for some crazy reason, this thing had a 351 in it. Gas with a 5-speed. And the reason I wanted this truck was for these front end suspension parts. But the guy said I could have them if I just took the whole thing. But see, here's the problem. Both frame horns are bent. That one really bad. This one not so much, but still it's bent. So the frame was junk and the cab's rotted out. I spent some time this morning pulling cab mount bolts, unhooking the wiring harness, steering column. I got to unhook this brake or master cylinder for the clutch. That was the other thing I got to thinking last night. This is a heavy truck. That's a ZF 5-speed. That might have a clutch that would hold up. I'd certainly think that'd be a heavier clutch, and that clutch ought to hold up to something. It should hold up to a Cummins. I would certainly think that. Boy, that's really weird too. I don't know if that motor shoved back and busted that, cracked that floor pan out. Huh, that's something. Don't look like it hit the motor. Although it may have shoved the front of the frame back. It don't matter. It really don't matter. My intention now is to cut this frame off about here, fold it together, put a tongue on it, pull it with a tractor's. There is a dump bed that goes on here. This is the PTO pump. I really don't need this. I could run it with a tractor's, but my intention is to put the dump bed back on this frame with the dual wheels and the heavy rear axle and make it a farm trailer to dump. And the sun's not on our side. Dump rocks, dump firewood, you name it. So today I'm going to work on stripping this baby down. The first thing is to get the cab off of it. Get the parts I want off the front end. I don't know. The guy that gave it to me said he might be interested in a ZF 5-speed for another Cummins project, but either way, the motor's junk. It doesn't turn over at all. It's been sitting out like this in the open. Yeah, we're going to get started here. It's still a little chilly. There's still ice in the mud puddles, so. And it rained 3 inches the other night, so we won't be in the field for a while. Yeah, it's got all the sway bars too. So, not a bad interior. I do need the steering column out of it because my steering column in that truck is shot. Just plain wore out. So, let's get started with it. I'll bring you back. Alright, well, I got the cab off and I found the problem. This frame rail is twisted all the way back into here. You see it's narrow there. And there's been the guy I got this off of said this was a 351 or I don't know, 5.8 liter. And I didn't disagree with him till we got to cleaning off here. Right down here at the bottom. 7.5 liter. It's a 460. Now, that makes more sense in a heavy truck or in a medium duty truck. That would make more sense that they put a 460 in it. So this is a big block bell housing. That'll take a 13-inch clutch, and they'll make an adapter to put a Cummins on that. My only concern now is whether a transfer case will go on there. We got a PTO on it, which is nice, but yeah, I thought that should be a big block, because why would they put a 351? They'd have just worked the nuts off of.
Well, yeah, especially how heavy that bed is.
Yeah.
Yeah. The bad thing is, you're just talking about that PTO.
Yeah.
You put that transfer case on there, the drive shaft's going to be right there.
Well, yeah, that's a problem. But if
can you flip them?
Yeah, I think they do. I think the ZF has dual ports. Yeah.
I know it does, but
except the only problem on a Cummins is this side's where you want the exhaust.
Will that bolt on the 205?
Yes.
Is it the same as a 205?
A 205, yeah, 205 has a PTO port. Now, I don't know what gear it takes to drive off of that, but
I know the ports are the same. But
yeah, the ports an SAE thing, but yeah, that's a the gear inside and the position of the gear is all different in all different transmissions. So anyhow, that's got the gas or gear ratios too, which they say is better for Cummins, no?
I thought the 7.3s and the gas, the
big blocks are
big
the same.
blocks were the same. That's the only ones that were different were the.
Alright, well,
5.72 to 76.
what's that? The
Ratio, total ratio.
first gear ratio?
It's just total ratio.
5. Yeah. Alright, what do you think? Go up and get them jack stands and put the...
Pull in here and there and just start cutting stuff off.
Well, yeah.
And just start.
Look at how bad this frame's bent clear back into here. It's
I guess you better cut it right there and make your trailer.
I'm thinking cut it right, or well,
cut it here. So
notch it here and bring them together, because it seems to be straight back here at this cross member.
That'll make it kind of nice. You'll have a lower hitch on it.
Yes. And it'll be plenty, the bed will be plenty high on top of this thing. We ought to just get a set of wheels and go over there and pick up the bed on the trailer once we get the trailer made out of it. So.
Oh, yeah, that's a thought.
All right, let's walk up to the shop and get the jack stands and get the jack stands under the front of it so we can get underneath and get the transmission mount out. And then got a new starter in it. Anybody needs a 460 starter.
Everybody needs a 460.
It's froze. It is froze up, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Boat anchor.
Yeah. Well. All right, let's go get some jack stands.
Okay, here we are. We're making a chicken house out of an old piece that was cut off the bottom of a semi-truck floor. Ed has kindly said he'd make me a house for some little chickens.
Square in there. Make sure that's square this way. The floor is level. Close enough. Now, the windows are square. You just put it on that. There we go. Hold that up there. Take it up a little bit.
Okay, here's a look at where we're at so far.
2x8s or whatever.
We got the short wall in the back, high wall in the front. It's gonna be a nice little chicken house. Two windows there that are going to tilt in for ventilation. And on one of these angled walls, there's going to be a door. I think I might put some sort of window in that. Maybe a trailer window with a crank or something that I can open for ventilation too. It's a thing of beauty.
All right, well, like you seen in the first video, or the first part here, my wife wanted chickens, so she wanted to put them in the barn. I said, no, we won't put them in the barn, we'll build a chicken house. Well, that building was a chicken house at one time. You see the little chicken door there at the bottom, but it's got firewood in it now. So I told her we'd build one. And since the world's on lockdown, and well, I guess it is, I don't know. Things are supposed to be hard to get. This is all built from materials that I've had here on the farm. I sent them after screws one morning, and they come back, bought some 2x4s because we thought we'd be short. And I bought that 2x4, that 2x4, and the 2N 2x4s. So we bought 4 boards and a box of screws. So far, it's got, I know they're not used roofing panels, they're just pieces I've had laying around here. And these 2x4s had something glued to them, I don't know what it was OSB. But anyhow, this is what we're building. Gonna have windows. Travis, if you're watching, you gotta watch this, because it's gonna have windows here, and it'll probably have a window in this end and a door in the far end. The deck is a piece of flooring out of a box trailer. Somebody give it to me. It's been laying outside for about 20 years and it hasn't rotted out yet, so got to be a good use for that. The rafters were something I paid $5 for at a sale. It's firewood, and I couldn't cut them up because they were in too good a shape, and they weren't 8-footers, or they had nails in them and stuff like that. But yeah, there is one short one, but nobody will ever know. So anyhow, that's what we're working on. Too muddy to work in the field. 86 sitting down here in a mud puddle. We did get this truck frame all stripped down. Got the gas tanks off of it. All the pits and pieces, and I got to go up to the barn and see if I can find a set of tires to fit it and knock these brake calipers off, because I'm guessing it probably won't turn in there. But I get this frame bent together, get a tongue made for the tractor. It'll yeah, you can see the kink in that frame right there, and that's the reason it was junked. This cross member here I think is tweaked too. They cut that hole in there for the PTO. I don't know if it did any good or not, but. And then the 460 is still sitting over here. This is my junk scrap pile. Scrap ever goes back up. I'll probably take this in too. I know OBS, he likes these plastic pulleys on a 200,000 mile engine there. He likes to wipe them out. So he said he'd put an air conditioner pump back on there and let it spin before he'd use one of them, because it's plastic. So anyhow, there's my junk coming block with the cracks. And there's the bed. But anyhow, that's where we're at. We're going to work on the chicken house tonight. Maybe find us a set of tires to throw on rims, because I got rims for these things. I just don't have any tires on them. They're 10 bolts. And I did find the seals for this, so I got to put that back together before hay season. The seals for the bottom of that gearbox in there, so it'll be sometime down the road on the to-do list. Probably get some oats planted here shortly, so we get some dry weather again. It's supposed to rain again tomorrow, so anyhow, we're going to work on the chicken house. So, thanks for watching.